Oh, yes. I was just looking at this Forbes magazine. Yeah. It's really good reading a magazine where there's a lot about leadership. And I found out somebody's been doing very well for himself. Yes. Did you know that Google has an affiliate named Capital G? Yes. And this company got $600 million from them. I've had a little problem with YouTube and not believing it's freedom of speech and then making videos documenting crimes, trespass, yes, terrorism, ooch, civil disorder, right, child abduction and kidnapping. I just wanted to know all of the Google affiliated investments, yes. Oh, since Google got going before it was a well-known search engine. Now, when you got 91% of the search results and you say that I violated the community guidelines within 3 days because of 8 videos, and somebody had said, well, the account is no longer there. And I thought, well, why don't we look at all the affiliated investments of Google? Because I'm kind of wanting to know what you invest in. Who Now, I explained that I had documented some lawsuits, some videos that were important to me, and it could be that those that are billionaires that just don't know what to do with their money, they thought they'd start up one of these affiliated investment groups. Now, I'm sure that he's a multi-billionaire and it's worth every penny. Pooch. But my concern is not pre-existing companies. It's companies that have been around for 10 to 15 years that can really, well, participate in. Let's say I put some videos on 3 YouTube accounts today, and I actually documented breaking and entering, yes, burglary, yes, the use of weapons, yes, trespass, oh, civil disorder training, and terrorism. And then this afternoon, I'm documenting mail theft, ooch, mail fraud, oh, signing for certified mail, pooch, and the possibility of sending certified mail, or what should be certified, general delivery to any post office of the United States. So why don't you get me all your investments, Google? Because you dumb fuck wouldn't turn it on. Ooh, I'm going to look through exactly what you've been investing in because as one of those that's been documenting crime, I think you're complicit in the crime of obstructing my, well, Sergey, Larry, and Eric, ooch, and then is it Suzanne Wojcicki? I'm gonna see. Oh, exactly. What are your affiliations, Google, Alphabet? Now, you're there to make money, pooch, and I have been using the YouTube account to document child abduction. Yes. And for some reason, you said I violated community guidelines. I've been documenting first, second, and third degree trespass of ooh, computer trespass. Now, this is somebody, look at this, a world builder. Isn't that such a nice smile? Yes. For some reason, the printing didn't really work out very good, but oh, look at somebody has one of those penthouses. Donald Trump, the majesty of his Manhattan apartment. I, well, you get to live in the White House while you're president, but you'd rather live in, is it nice? Does the president? No. Well, I've been wanting to get involved in some real estate, and since this showcase, the Canadian has become one of the world's biggest commercial real estate managers. Yes, I wanted to have a little look at all that real estate again. Could you get me all the real estate trusts? Yes, and every security that is listed that lists real estate as their primary business. Now, I know there's some big real estate investors out there. Okay. He just manages the portfolio of investments. He's one of these that, oh, last time we compared a major investment of Warren Buffett as if the Oracle was the all-knowing. As that individual that's having to sleep on a hardwood floor where somebody trashed all my shit, yes, and kidnapped my sons, yes, obstructed my use of the judicial system, refuses to acknowledge my civil. Well, let's look at all the securities that have a portfolio of properties that's tax advantaged. Now, I was a stockbroker. Yes, he was. And this is a show. Bill, well, they call Bill Ackman Baby Buffett too. Is that what the Wall Street Journal said? Pooch. Now, highly, he's the infrastructure topic du jour. Now, knowing, okay, of these various innovations that I've documented, yes, and the actual crimes I'm experiencing, yes, for some reason, somebody kept coming the money. Pooh. Now, I want to know of all those big name real estate investors that count themselves into the multi-billion dollar portfolios of skyscrapers. That's right, Warren. You remember that? The two and the two and the two? I wanted to form small groups of investors that wanted to put in 2% of the 10% down necessary to get financing. Yes. I wanted to finance it at 2% above the 1 year treasury rate. Yes. And it would, well, it had a 10-year buyout. It was the two and the two and the two. Yes. 2% in. Yes. 2% above the 1 year treasury. Yes. And I don't know what was the other two for. Yeah. Well, it was an investment type of trust. Yes, like a limited partnership. Yes. Now I know it was the two. No, it was a two, and the 20, and a 20-year financing. It was a simple structure. After 10 years, the other investors could buy you out. For 20 years, you would receive the income minus the expenses of the actual structure itself. Now, I know a lot of these big, I'm talking big. If you thought about $1 billion building, okay, how many of them are there? Not a lot, okay. Why don't you give me all $500 million buildings, yes, everywhere in the world, where if I had four other individuals, yes, and we each came in at $50 million on a $500 million building, yes, divided by five, ooch, at 2%, $10 million, $10 million. And we do it about 2% above the treasury rate. See, let's say there was hyperinflation instead of deflation. Yes, yes, yes. Every year we reset the actual financing for 20 years. It's a fixed rate financing for 1 year at a time for 20 different years. Yes, yes. Now, it's a different structure than a lot of portfolios use. Yes. But I know there are a lot of millionaires out there, okay, that they do have $10 million sitting around, 10% down, 2% each. Yes, 2% above the 1 year treasury for 20 years. And after 10 years, if you want the profitability of the infrastructure out, you could pull that out as long as the other four investors wanted to buy you out. Now, let's say I was sitting there after 10 years. Now, I could, well, you get your original principal out plus the actual appreciation of the structure that was invested in. No, no, no. Now, when you think of a portfolio of properties, all structured this way, with 20-year financing, because I feel confident, yes, he does. There are a lot of investment companies, these hedge funds, yes, and pension plans. If I could talk to them, if I had told them that every year we would adjust the actual percentage rate to 2% above the 1 year treasury, and we had hyperinflation, boy, I'd have all kinds of problems. We'd have tenant problems. There'd be like some sort of depression because of that. You remember what happens during those times? Yes. But 2% above the 1 year treasury, the cash balance would be 2% above the 1 year. Now just get me. every property that if I were to buy it today, it would cost more than a $500 million, and then all the most expensive properties throughout the world. Then all I have to do is find four other individuals that want to put 2% in on the actual property value.